Okay, let's talk about the entry level into the game. Let's say you want to try WoW out. So first you have to pay 50 euros just to get the goddamn expansion. And then you have to pay 13 just for your monthly subscription. I mean, like, that's just ridiculous. Young people are not gonna pay that for a game. And I think like that's like one of the biggest reasons why WoW is slowly dying. Okay, let's say you were dumb enough to buy this game for 63 euros, and the only thing you want to do is play Arena. Maybe you've seen it on Twitch, you think it looks cool, or your friend invited you to play. How many hours do you guys think it will actually take for a new player to get from level 1 to the real endgame Arena? Which is the reason why this player even paid 63 euros to play the game from the beginning. Let's say this guy is really dedicated, he watches guides and shit, so let's say he gets max level in 12 hours. Well, that's awesome. Now he can start play the game. Or, not really. Now we're supposed to get one-shotted by more experienced players in Battlegrounds for hours and hours before you get the gear. Well done, mate. You made the grind. Now you just need a couple of 100,000 of gold to buy the chance to be competitive. Let's say you play the game for 24 hours now and you're still not in the end game that you paid 63 euros for to play. So now you have two choices. Otherwise you go and grind some gold, or you buy WoW tokens for another 20 euros. Well done, dude. Now you have the chance and can finally start play the game. Or,
Hey everyone, and welcome to SkillCap's guide on the must-have add-ons for WoW PvP. In this guide, we'll be walking you through the perfect setup of all the most important add-ons in PvP to ensure you can quickly and easily gather all of the information you need to make the correct decisions in your games.
One eternity later.
Dorime, interimo ad appare dorime. Ameno, ameno, die. Lantiremo, dorime. Ameno, o manare imperavi, ameno. Dimere, mantiremo, ameno.
Catalyst converter, or acquiring your tier in PvP, is basically, it's completely random, or you have to raid, or you have to wait a really, really long time. And it's actually crazy how good the tier is. I myself right now, I'm chilling because I've been so lucky. I've been so incredibly lucky with my my vault.
All right. 775.
It's kind of nuts. Last week on my monk, I got my shoulders in the vault. This week I got my helmet. So I have my 2-set, which is super duper overpowered. Like my rising sun kick does 30% more damage than other monks. Like it's nuts. And if you did not get lucky in the vault, or you don't raid, you're gonna have to wait, I don't know what, to get your 2-set, another like over a month, another month and a half or something like that, another 6 weeks.
Don't worry, boys. I'm not mad. I'm just used to this situation. Remember, I played the Burning Crusade Classic. And I understand, like the Warglaives, they were not supposed to be abused in Nagrand Arena when they first made the game. It was like the most PvE hardcore guys that could obtain them to defeat Kil'jaeden in the later patch. But now when I see people abuse their PvE gear in Dragonflight as well, I kinda lose the motivation to continue play the game. Well, yeah, I think it's just kinda insane that you can obtain better gear for PvP in PvE. Even Heaton, the Swedish goat of Counter-Strike, talks about this in his podcast with Zico.
Alla har inte samma möjligheter. Du måste raida för att få bästa gearen för att kunna vara bäst. Och det, ja, det finns ju de här turneringsserverna där alla har lika gear, men det är inget man kan använda dagligen. Det är ett litet problem som jag ser också.
So, yeah guys, I guess you get my point. The gear system just sucks. Let's go next. Let's imagine you playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive. in matchmaking. You open up the buy menu under the freeze time, and you want to buy the AVP. But no, you can't buy the AVP because it's locked behind a 24-hour grind. So you can only play with a M4 unless you unlock it, so to speak. My point is, a PvP game ain't good if you can't multiclass. And I think it's like one of my biggest hurdles to get into retail WoW, because I don't have a clue what's going on most of the time. I'm just PvE healing. I mean, I managed to get duelist rank in solo shuffle as healer. And when you like ask the big boys about solo shuffle, they have like 3000 rating, and they say it's like 1700 in 3 vs 3. So I guess it makes kind of sense, because it feels like the opponents I'm playing against, they have like the same clue as me, like literally nothing. They use PvE healing as well. And when you look up like the most high rated players, they have like one thing in common, like 99% of the time. It's that they play like 8 different classes on high rating. And I think that putting people away as well, like a lot of classic people that likes Arena, because they don't know the spells and they don't have the time to grind like 8 different classes and play them, because like me, I have 2 kids and shit, and I will never get the time to really play all the classes in the game, unfortunately. And still, if I had the time, I would not do it, because it's so boring to level and gear up, in my opinion. I think that's like one of the reasons why TBC and Wrath of Lich King are so popular, because we played a lot back then and we actually know what abilities classes have, and I think that's one of the most important things you need to have in a PvP game. Oh boy, guys. I guess we're entering the most triggering part of this video. The gameplay itself. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that enjoy the state of the game as it is right now. So this is just my own thoughts, what I think could be better. Okay, let's talk about one of the most important things in the game, mobility. I'm gonna show you this clip now with a warrior in a solo shuffle game. The warrior is the guy with a brown nameplate. We even could count his gap closers together. Did you count? I did. 10 gap closers. It's just ridiculous. So in the state the game is right now, it feels like mobility doesn't really matter, because you can just press it whenever you like, because you have a new one ready in like 5 seconds. So let's compare the warrior mage duel in the Burning Crusade version. Apparently here you can see Petrax gold boosting a mage. The first thing he does bad is the positioning. He just opposes himself for me, so I can just perch him up before the rogues enter with cheap shot. And then he presses blink before my warrior uses intercept. That's like the worst thing you can do as a mage. And instead of a weak arrow screaming to me that we are in trouble, I can just see with my own eyes that we are not in trouble, and I can actually go for a kill on the mage. So like in my opinion, I could actually say that there is cooldown training in like TVC. It's the mobilities. And that's really fun gameplay in my opinion. Like, if a melee stands on a ranged, the range gonna die. If the range get away from a melee and get uptime, the melee gonna die. But as the state is right now in retail WoW, melees and range, they just stand on each other and trade their cooldowns and follow the weak aura. I mean, it's not the best gameplay in my opinion, but I guess some people enjoy it. So I think the biggest problem is the mobility. Because if you have this much mobility in the game, you need to have like this trading cooldowns gameplay. You can't have consistent damage if you can have uptime all the time. So it forces you to be, for myself, I'm forced to be like a heal bot. I never do nothing more than just put out HPS all the time. And after one day in retail, my hands is shaking like this because I have to mash my bottoms all the time. It feels like I'm never thinking. I'm just pressing when my weak aura is screaming. I think it's bad. And now you may be thinking like, Jompa, you only complaining, what the fuck, dude? You old noob classic player. It restarts too fast for you. But I mean, like, maybe I have some good solutions for the game. If you want to hear, let's go. Okay, boys. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. It's the PvE heroes' fault that PvP sucks. WoW need two different clients. It needs one PvP game and one PvE game. It's just simple as that. Believe it or not, but you can't make a good PvP game in 2023 if you have a PvE game in the same client. It doesn't. You can't. It's impossible. It's simple as that. Game over. And then you think like, no, Jompa, you can't. Because we had like that arena tournament servers back in like 2010 or something that people could play. I mean, I'm thinking like even bigger than that. Like this maybe. Imagine waking up like this. You've been up all fucking night last night. And you're just ready to go to your computer and have another wonderful night. The sun is falling slowly in the sunset. But you can't do anything but keep a big smile on your face. You prepare up in the kitchen. You make the biggest cup of coffee you can. You load up your overlip with a big snooze. Then you go to the gaming room, or in my case, the gaming closet. And then you open up this arena client. It doesn't even have to be Blizzard, I don't give a fuck. Any developer can make it, I guess. You finally get into this magical game. Imagine this is like Blade Edge Arena instead. And the game holds your hand for a couple of minutes to get you like the basics of the game, so you got some understanding what it's all about. And right there, boom, right in front of you. Fucking finally, you're in the main client now, and we can actually play the game. No dragon riding, no leveling, no gearing, just a game. Just a game. No 24 hours grind to just get a charter ready to play. No gold, nothing, no bullshit, just a game. So then you click on this wonderful practice button and get to like, imagine like Nagrand Arena instead of the Valorant practice arena. And here you are, ready to choose whatever class you want to play. And remember, this is Nagrand Arena, not the Valorant practice arena. But then you think like, we need add-ons, what the fuck? But then, I would say like, Gladius, S-Arena, Big Debuffs, Omni-CD, Omnibar, Jack's Party Cospars is already in the client. It's already there, it's already fixed to a professional grade. So you can just play the game. And all third-party add-ons are banned. But then you think like, but all keybinds and the UI, how are we gonna set up that? Well, let's say that's literally a edit mode button like in Dragonflight now. And in that tab you can choose like whatever top gamer you want to play as, like Minpoike or Seedu as a healer or Absturge, and like the best melees, like Mess or Was or yeah whatever, and then you can choose like Raikou if you want to play a caster, Exoru. Yeah, I mean, like, you can play whatever you prefer. So let's say now your shorter is set up and you're ready to like start learn the game. And imagine like you click this button, practice, and boom, there comes 2 friends and 3 enemies in like your gladi arena, like dummies. And they just like drop in health and shit, and there's like a big like Dragonflight PvP wiki arrow that tells you like press Alt 1 to target enemy 1 to interrupt him, or press F1 to target your friend and heal him. You know, like basic shit, so you get the understanding of it. And let's say when you have done like the task with the dummies, you can like step up to the start mode instead. And like when you press that button, you come to like a 3 vs 3 arena with 5 bots, and you need to like win the game to unlock that class to play rated, or should I say matchmaking, because rated system just fucking sucks. So it's time to queue up with the big boys, but hold on, I can't queue, what's going on? You only have a melee class. You actually need both a healer and a caster DPS to start queue matchmaking. But why?
Few times will slowly kill the game mode. It's not sustainable. A big problem so far with Solo Shuffle has been there's not enough healers. That's basically the problem in a nutshell.
So instead of this RNG, you get a roll RNG instead to every single matchmaking game. So 1 in a third, you have the chance to be healer, caster, or melee. So you get to play every role mathematically every third game, which means that everyone gonna play every role, and there will be insta pop all the time.
Oh my god, I did not mean to do that. I meant to exit.
Just imagine that, boys. People bitching on Twitter like, the queue popped too fast and griefed me. Okay, so now I will make a lot of like comparisons to Counter-Strike Global Offensive because I have a lot of hours in there, and I think the system is really good in Counter-Strike. I can say that as a former global elite. Sorry for the fake nicking Heaton, but that nickname brings fear to the enemy. So in this matchmaking system, you can just queue up solo, or you can queue as a pre-made into the same matchmaking ladder. And it doesn't really matter how many you are in your pre-made, you can be 2, 3, 4, 5, and random players will just fill up the other spots. And the matchmaking mode is 5 vs 5, by the way. Okay, great, the queue popped. Let's go. Let's roll. So now you spawn in like the waiting room warm up. Like you in the waiting room in the arena. Warm up over. Now the game starts.
Hello there.
Hello.
Go away.
Hello guys.
I'm just Smoke City, guys.
Okay.
And boom, just like that, you talk with 4 strangers and just figuring out how you're gonna win the round. I mean, this game mode came like 11 years ago, 2012. Why can't WoW Arena have something like this? Okay boys, geekies, I had a blast. But now to the big question. Did I rank up or did I D-rank? The good thing with Counter-Strike is like, if you have a win streak for let's say 5 games, you rank up. If you have a lose streak for 5 games, you D-rank. So if you like win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, you stay on the same rank all the time. You can't actually see how far you are from D-ranking or ranking up. And I think that system, in my opinion, is better because it feels kind of rough to just get judged every game in the WoW rating system. But then you think like, Jompa so stupid. If you can't see where you are on the ladder, how can you then know who's the best player?
What is FACEIT? Mostly everything I'm going to say here can be applied to ESEA, CEVO, ESL, or whatever other sites are popping around, but for me personally, I like FACEIT, and I'll explain why. A thing to note, your matchmaking rank will not be affected if you play FACEIT. Matchmaking is a built-in system for CSGO with their own servers. FACEIT is an external system for CSGO with their own servers. These are the matchmaking ranks, and these are the FACEIT ranks. By playing matchmaking, it won't affect your FACEIT rank, and by playing FACEIT, it won't affect your matchmaking rank. You might think now, well, what's the point of going out of your way to play something that's basically the same? Well, I'm glad you asked, Robert. Coming back to the pro scene, all LAN CSGO events are on 128 tick servers. Just know that 128 tick is better than 64 tick. Faceit also has their own anti-cheat software system which updates automatically. In over 220 premium matches that I've had on Faceit, I've only encountered one cheater and he was banned hours later. Honestly, these two things alone are enough to make it pretty much switch. Faceit also has an elo system. You can see your elo, how many points you need for the next level, how many points you're getting or losing per game, and this makes it really easy to know when you're about to rank up or rank down. On matchmaking, you kind of have to guess, okay, I'm LEM with 7 wins, maybe if I win 1 or 2 I'll rank up to Supreme. Every month you get placed in a league with a ladder system so you can see how you're doing with people similar to your statistics. Not only that, but on the main lobby you get to see everybody that you're playing with. You can go to their profile to see who's a beast and who's not so much of a beast, and to be honest, you get to play with a lot of the same people, which I thought would suck, but it's one of the best things. See, I would rather play with the same people a whole day who want to win and get better at the game than to play with 20 random people that could be potential trolls, cheaters, or whatever. If you make it all the way to the high ranks and play well, there's a good chance that you're going to be playing with semi-pros and full-time pros. Who knows, maybe you're the next Olafmeister. Thinking about it, then you can make or play with a team in events and tournaments on Faceit. Get that competitive spirit going and see if you like it. Yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense. What's the downside to this? Well, it costs $7 a month.
Ta-da! The matchmaking bracket is a fun bracket. It's to get people into the game, so you don't have to get stomped by like a Multigladiators alt on 1500 rating. And I mean, like, if you go up in the ranks in Counter-Strike Go, like I did like 2015, when you stomp people on Global Elite, you start to play Faceit. I did. And people are so much better on the Faceit servers. So it keeps like the predators away from like the small little rabbits that playing matchmaking. I think it's just a healthy system. Let's say Blizzard making this game I'm dreaming about. It's like super easy for the kids to join. It's free to play. I mean, you can fill the matchmaking ladder with a lot of new blood.
Who loves Fortnite?
And maybe Blizzard can make like a contract with Arena Tournament or something like that. And they can make like these extremely good quality servers that you pay like 10 euros or something for monthly subscription when you are invested enough into the game. And Blizzard takes like 30% in fee or something, or the half. I don't know. I'm not a businessman, but or just let the market decide who's the best server provider instead of this like monopolic communist system that we live in right now. And if like anyone can make a server, and I mean like back in 1.6, I even hosted my own server. I had like a second computer in my boy room, and like all my friends in school and shit joined, and we just played and had fun. And I put in like my own mods into the server, like rankings and stuff. So let's say you sit on a LAN party, you can just open up a server and everyone can join. So instead of this WoW game master, you are the admin. And you and your boys on the LAN, you can just fuck around, change map. You can practice how much you want. You can just have fun. It's like no rating, it's just you and the boys having a good time. And with the game mods, the fan base can create so much content. The only limit is the imagination. Imagine like a Simpsons map like this, but it's like mage mode only, and you're like supposed to crowd control the longest and avoid getting CC'd, or like a shaman only mode. Let's say you stand next to each other. You're supposed to like interrupt the other shaman, and he's supposed to interrupt you, and the one who gets most cost out under, let's say, 1 minute wins. Or maybe something like this.
Let's go, let's go!
no more tour gas for today. And with a system like this, I think it's opened up so much opportunities. Like when I were young, like on every school break, there were like some cool parents that rented a gym hall, and everyone paid like a fee for 10 euro or something like that. So everyone like brought their computers to the gym hall and just played all weekend long. And there were like tournaments for Heroes of New Earth, Counter-Strike, you know, these games were like the mainstream games back in the day. And you were like hyped for weeks before like your school break because it was like so much fun to like play versus the best players in your town. But I mean, all of us were like dog shit, but and with the fee money, there were like prizes, like a mouse pad or mouse or something. But the biggest thing were like to win, like be the best in your town. And with the vote system as it is right now, you can't do things like that. It's impossible. And I mean, like, a sport or even an esport can't grow if there's like no noobs and beginners that can compete in a physical environment. And back in the day on those school break lands, if Arena were available to play, we would 100% do it because majority of the players played WoW.
Där vi har kommit... helsike, vänta, lyssna på detta. Här har vi en andfådd kille som inte kunde prata. Vad heter du? Max? Ungefär så. Max har stålskedor i knät.
And now, 14 years later, we have stuff like this in Sweden.
Svenska elitserien presenteras av Svenska Spel, Aegon by AOC och Omen by HP.
Giken i kistan, vi ser även given med sin tredje frag den här rundan. Rolf, ensam kvar till 1-5-läge och där vinner de den här säsongen av elitserien.
Ja, det är ju för att vinna med 2-0 här.
Ja, otrolig prestation för Safek hela vägen igenom. Och
Ryan kommer få göra det och de har vunnit svenska elitserien!
And now 14 years later, we even have a Swedish national series system. And the prize pool for the best 8 teams were over 2 million Swedish crowns. And the main sponsor is Svenska Spel. We are the main sponsor of the Swedish Football Association, the Swedish Ice Hockey Association, the Swedish Ski Association, the Swedish Olympic Committee, Women's Elite Football, and the Swedish Esport Association. We are also the main sponsor of the three hockey leagues SHL, Hockeyallsvenskan, and the Svenska Spel, Women's Hockey League. So my point is, if Counter-Strike had the same system as WoW, it would never have this success. I mean, it's just ridiculous when you think about it. Their main sponsor is like the main sponsor that sponsors Swedish ice hockey and football. It's an accepted sport. And why is football, for example, the most popular sport in the world? It's the accessibility. You just need a ball. That's all. And like in Counter-Strike, you can just open a server and play. I mean, I almost get triggered when I think about it. Why can't there be a tab target PvP game like WoW that have like the same accessibility? It's just sad.
This is why our best hope for WoW Arena is actually, ironically, not even WoW. It's the fucking League MMO. This is our best hope for an arena game to reach the potential that WoW always had and never reached.
When top PvPers say stuff like this, I'm actually getting kind of scared. I mean, like, it's like a crack addict that don't like crack anymore. But he got like a solution. He gonna try this new crack that's gonna come out on the market. But it won't solve his problem. I mean, like, if this Riot MMO comes out, I guess they're gonna be still the same stupid like boss mechanics in the raids, because it's a PvE game. And I guess there will be stupid grinds and shit and no multiclassing, as I talked about before. And without multiclassing there won't be an esport, because the viewers can't understand what's going on if they never play the class. It's like in football. 90% of the viewers in football have actually been playing the game themselves. So they can like relate to a defender or a midfielder or a striker because they played like all the positions. It's the same in Counter-Strike. You can play like lurker, entry fragger. And that's why multiclassing is so important for esports. I mean, League of Legends kind of reminds of WoW, and they have a lot of viewers. But it feels like all people are so locked into this, like, if it's a tab target, like WoW game, it needs to be MMO. Why can't people like ask for a tab target arena PvP game instead? Counter-Strike, it was created from Half-Life. It was just a mod. It was just an idea, exactly like World of Warcraft and Arena WoW. And they took Counter-Strike out from the Half-Life and made their own game. Why can't it be the same with Arena WoW? Just make a client as I described. No talent bullshit. No gear bullshit. So you just, if you want to be a Resto Shaman, boom, you're a Resto Shaman. All abilities are baselined. Let's say when you enter the arena in the waiting room, there could be like a little goblin you can like right click on him, and he like, you can like choose between a couple of buffs so you can have another arena, like defensive or offensive, like spell power. Yeah, you get what I mean. And you can like press M, let's say, on your keyboard, and there comes up all your like your healer shots if you're a healer in that matchmaking game, and you can just pick whatever you like. And let's say the matchmaking games are like best of 5 games, so you need to win 3 games to win. And you see people like abusing the double rogue shit. But I guess you can't play double rogue in my dream game because you can only play caster, melee or healer in every game, so there won't be like double melees and double casters. But this is just an example. So let's say you lose the first round. Then like the losing team can just press the M keybind and swap to another class. So let's say you can just pick a Holy Paladin instead. And they can't abuse this like double dog meta like in TBC. So let's say the double dogs swap to another class in the 3rd round. It forces like the whole player base to be more skillful. They can't just abuse one class. And if it's a PvP game only, I guess there won't not even be a double dog from the beginning because it will be balanced. I mean, I could talk about this for hours and hours, but I really think we need and we deserve a tab target PvP game like I'm talking about. We actually deserve it. I'm thinking about like all these people that are so invested into it. They play like every day for 15 years. They deserve it. It has so much depth, this game. It has more depth than Counter-Strike in my opinion. It will be so much content. Just a class by themselves. And I think it can be one of the best games, best PvP games out on the market. We need it. It's just simple as that. And if we don't get it, WoW Arena will be dead in like 10 years. I mean, the youngest like top PvPers, they start playing this game 10 years ago. Who's gonna fill up? There's no entry level in it. It's doomed with this system. I mean, it's the same system from like 2007. I don't even think it's like the same year when the first smartphone came. It's just ridiculous. We need a change. I mean, I even have the commons in Ironforge as wallpaper on my wall because it in some way give me the feeling of the client I'm dreaming of. Because when I'm there, I'm just queuing arena and chilling. I'm not doing any bullshit grind. I guess we are at the end now. Thank you boys for watching this long. I think we are 35 minutes into the video. Even if my English can be a bit meh sometimes. And drop a comment down there. What do you think? And subscribe if you liked it. Peace.
Oh, it's good to see trees again. On the snow. Even from a distance. Remember when we would track blood ox through the frostwind dunes? There was always meat. Always life. You don't think it's strange that we lost our home when Gul'dan came to power? One orc cannot kill a world, Duratan. Are you sure? Look around you. Does it not remind you of something? Wherever Gul'dan works his magic, the land dies. If our people are to make a home here, my friend, Gul'dan must be stopped. We are not powerful enough to defeat Gul'dan.